Hello and welcome to Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm
and today we're going to be reviewing,
Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead season finale, Le Finale. And this episode's called The First Day of the Rest of Your Life, which is kind of ironic. But we'll get into that. So, as usual, because even for the finale, they couldn't help dragging their feet a little bit. I mean, literally nothing happened for the first half an hour. And I mean, without adverts and stuff like that, the show's like an hour long. So,
All
you,
right, it's sort of like why make it an extended episode? I get it's the finale, but why make it an extended episode of fuck all's going to happen for the first half of it? It made no sense.
um, they must think people love it. They must think people love that kind of storytelling where nothing happens. Because I don't get it. I really don't get why you'd put it in. I mean, they couldn't even knock it off for the finale. They just had to put. It's like. Maybe like. It gets 10 million viewers, yeah? And maybe we're literally the only two people who view the show who think that stuff's whack and boring. Maybe everyone, all the other 10 million people like it. I just don't get it.
I
It's
don't know
like.
because I feel like it ended strong, and we'll get to it obviously. But I like when it finally kicked into action. But why are you meandering so much in the finale when you've done that? You, I get it. I mean, again, look, we've talked about this before. I don't like the storytelling either, but whatever, it's what it is. They build up and they build up and they build up and they do all this dragging out crap. Fine if that's what you want to do, but then why do that in the actual episode itself?
I just couldn't believe it. So you had kind of Sasha like in the darkness with a little thing, listening to music and stuff like that, and like when it turns out what was actually happening, I was like, she was doing really weird stuff for what she was doing because she kept like biting her lip and stuff like that. I was thinking like when I first saw it, I was expecting like her doing her thing, like doing those weird stuff and making kind of weird noises and stuff like that. I was expecting like Eugene's head to pop up all of a sudden. You know what I
Blimey.
mean? I was just thinking, what the? Why is she like?
Well, she's like killing herself, isn't she? Like maybe she's struggled with the fact that she's about to die. I don't know. I've heard of it all too, but
Yeah,
I mean, how do you play that?
well, I think she should have just didn't need it. And then like she was speaking every so often, then it turned out she was kind of having that was all fan service. That was pure fan service. People were like, oh my god, Abraham's back, Abraham's back, oh my god. He was a B-list character when he was in the show. Just the fact he died, all of
Well,
a
that's
sudden,
why I don't think it's fan service. I think it's trying to show her character coming into her final moments. I guess Abraham's who she wants to see, and she's on her way to see Abraham now, I guess.
well,
But
it's interesting because like the way it was played out, it was literally, it was really kind of a flashback to, obviously you don't see it, but it was kind of their conversation before they get before they travel off with Maggie in the season finale last season, where they kind of, because obviously Maggie's babe is like, there's something wrong with it, so they get in a camper van, they drive off, and that obviously that's when they kind of get like waylaid and end up with Negan, and that's where he kills them, like Abraham and Glenn. So it kind of did a flashback to them where she was like she was like, oh, I had a dream of you drowning, and she was like trying to really talk him out of. I think it was just trying to like get the audience emotionally, because you don't really know that she's up to anything. You just think, oh well, maybe she's in the room listening to music, contemplating and stuff like that. But really, it's kind of just flashing back to her like, I had a dream of you dying. Maybe you shouldn't go. And then it's just like, oh my god, oh my god. It's like if only he listened to her, he still would have been alive. It was one of them kind of things, and it was just like whatever. Like Sasha's a whack character. She's really a whack character. So it's like I don't really care about her. So the
yeah, but
fact that
who are you going to care about but Rick and maybe Daryl?
I like Rosita, I like Eugene.
Eugene. Why do you like Eugene?
I'm telling you, he's the best character in the show.
You're right, your
I'm
mind.
expecting him to grow wings and just muller everyone, but I don't know. I've always liked him since day one. It was kind of, I think it was kind of a running joke with me where I kept telling people he was like the best character in the show, and everyone would be like, "What? Why?" and now I've convinced myself. I know I like him as a funny guy, but yeah, it's like I was just thinking why they're focusing on her, and then like you had the real cruddy little thing where Morgan did a kind of roadblock with the things, and I was like that turned out nothing.
Yeah, I don't get that either. You had that the last time I saw Morgan. I can't remember if it was the last episode or the one before, but
It was
he had that big moment where he like switched his faces with Carol, and then that's it. Like that quickly.
yeah. So he decides to get a bunch of them trolleys and block off, hoping the saviours will run by so he could kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out no one came through, but they managed to talk him out of that in 2 seconds. We saw barely nothing of the kingdom. I mean, we saw nothing at the hilltop, but it kept flashing between Sasha, like, sitting with Maggie, and then it was playing really weird, slow piano music, and they were just staring.
That was weird. Like, am I reading it wrong, or was that, like, erotic?
I
It
thought...
seemed odd.
I thought her in the darkness with the music was. I'm telling you, I was expecting either someone to pop their head up, or someone to, or a guy to just say something. I was like, what is going on here? Because she was like biting her lip and like, I was just like, what the? I was like, she must be enjoying this music, but I'm telling you. But like, yeah, I don't really kind of get that. Like, I don't know, I'm telling you, they were kind of like, I think it's one of them things where obviously people were probably like, oh, they're doing so much of a focus on her, maybe she's going to die or something. But I mean, really, it was like, Sasha, come on, she's whack, she's been whacked since day one. So of all the people, I mean, I was, from my expectation was they were all going to get together and it was going to kick off. It's like Gregory they made a hoo-ha about Gregory, like, disappearing last episode, and we don't even see him. For some reason the saviours know an attack's coming, and no one really knows why. They made a big deal with Dwight in the jail cell, and like that resulted in nothing. It's like you got Tara like kill him, and it's just like, whatever, man, shut up, Tara, you're rubbish too. So like they made such a big deal on that and just kind of like allowed him to go, and then it was the obvious line. It's like, oh, when this all dies down, I'm gonna kill him. It's like, duh, really? It's like, I never would have guessed that. So like, yeah, the saviours were aware an attack was coming, and I kind of don't know why. It's
because
like,
the other one sold them out, right?
what other one?
The women, all the weird women.
Oh yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense, yeah. The dummies, now I think about it. But yeah, you don't really know that. But up to that point, you know they were aware of the attack, but you didn't know that they turned, yeah, but whatever. So,
I mean, you had to have seen that coming, though, when they turned. The way the blonde was with Michonne, it was obvious.
well, flipping, I thought it was kind of jokes when she was like, after this is won, I lay with him. And she was like looking at Rick, and I was just like, alright then, calm down. But like, well, there's a big point I was going to make. Yeah, and they were kind of like, they made a big focus about the explosive in the van, and then like obviously it finally got, I mean, you see nothing of the kingdom, nothing of that, so I mean it was obviously going to be a surprise that they were going to turn up if things were going to go wrong, and they were going to turn up in like the last couple of seconds. I was like, why make such a big deal about flipping getting them all together and then just have them pop up for like 5 minutes? So yeah,
because I don't think we really needed them there for that much longer.
It was just really bad. So absolutely nothing happened for the first half an hour, and then eventually like they roll up, and then they know the attack's coming, and then Rosita's got a little detonator. She presses it, nothing happens, and then like all the dum-dums kind of turn, and there's like a massive standoff. Then Negan comes out, and then like they're like, oh, you were going to blow all of us up, even little Eugene, I thought it was one of you. And then like it turns out Sasha's in the coffin, then it does a flashback of like flipping them putting her in the coffin, giving her the music, blah blah blah, and then it turns out she ate the poison. So when he opens up the door to tell him, like, she pops out zombified, hops on him. I was thinking they better not kill him by zombification, because that's just going to be terrible.
No, there was no way he was going to die. I thought that was pretty cool. obviously it's going to turn out some way. My only question, I don't want to nitpick, but as a zombie, would she really be like sat there and waiting? Wouldn't she be like banging against the bloody thing to try and eat people? But
Well, that's a very fair point. So yeah, I like the way that her bursting out was enough to literally distract every single person in the whole place, because
sure,
she
why not?
popped out and then all of a sudden everyone started popping. I think Rosita got licked with a bullet. I mean, and then the woman had the gun to Rick's head, and she like did out. She just had the gun pointed. He was like, "All move." It's one of them things where it's like, "Don't move, or I'm gonna pop you." And he was like swinging his head about, moving about, like looking over things. And she still just had. I was thinking, why don't, she's had like about 50 reasons to pop him in the head right now. So that's what I was thinking if they really turn. So yeah, everyone starts flipping, popping everyone. So that goes off for about flipping 10 minutes, and then eventually it kind of all dies down, and then he gets Rick and Carl like kind of sat down. But really I think there's still stuff kicking off, because Michonne's fighting with the blonde girl, and then like yeah, he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill the kid. So he gets ready to swing at the kid, and like you hear a splat and everyone thinks it's Michonne, and I'm thinking it's not Michonne, but please. I mean, they're so terrible. It's like they do this splat thing. It's like the only way that would have been good is if it was actually Michonne, because you know it's never going to be her. So could you imagine, like, there's probably about what, a handful of people who are actually like gasping like, oh my god, Michonne's dead. It's like, this show's done this 50 times. It's like, I don't believe for 1 second that means anything. So yeah, and then Rick's all crying and stuff like that. Then he does the whole thing, I'm gonna kill you again, and then he goes to swing at the kid, and then like the probably moment where like every single person watching it except for like me was like, oh my god, that was the best bit of the episode, that was so amazing, oh my god, the tiger. I was just like,
I
oh
mean,
my,
the tiger's pretty cool. Don't be so jaded.
well, that's its only that was its only purpose, but even I was just
Obviously, it's a tiger, isn't it?
like, so yeah,
No, whatever. I mean, finally, the tiger bloody well did something. I thought, yeah, that's fine.
so like the tiger jumps out of nowhere and mullers a guy, and
Yeah.
see, that's one of them things where like everyone turns around to look, not no zombie popping out of no coffin. Even I would have turned around if I see a tiger jump someone. So I guess that was okay. That kind of, oh my god, what's going on, was better than the first one.
A zombie popping out of coffin and attacking Negan is pretty weird. I mean, surely everyone's going to be looking at that.
I would just be like, as soon as I heard like a knock or anything, or like a splat, any sound, I would have started popping off. You know what I mean? Because I know what that stuff means. I ain't messing about. You meant to. All guns are pointed on everyone, so if any funny business goes down, you instantly start blasting. So you wouldn't catch me looking about. As soon as I hear a single knock in that, or a hand on me or anything, I'm gonna start popping. So yeah, the tiger mullers are nobody. You know, and then again, like the kingdom come around. I tell you what, it was a good bit of CGI where like obviously the first jump was whack, but then like when everything was popping out, it did like a shot of like the tiger like mauling his face, and I was thinking that's pretty damn good CGI, because that like its lip was all up and everything. Like I was like, oh, that kind of looks so. Obviously, it's fake as anything, but I was thinking the CGI on its face when it was kind of eating the other guy wasn't too bad. So I thought that was good. And then like everything's popping up again, and then the dum-dums kind of end up running off, and it was kind of a case of flipping. I mean, Negan laid out a few funny lines when that was all kicking off, because he was getting hiding behind cars and getting dragged around and everything, and then like he sees Maggie and is like, I thought she was dead. My oh my, and then he's like running around popping people, and then like there was the old all ran out of ammo, dash a gun, pick up another one. That was kind of cool. I like that attention to detail, as opposed to, oh, I've ran out of ammo, I'm going to be like, oh, what's going on. So again, there was a lot of popping off. Then there was a flare, which I guess was a surrender flare, and some smoke canisters, and then everyone's like, the dum-dums are running away, and like the main saviors, Dwight, Simon, and Daryl are not Daryl. What's his name? Dwight are driving off in the car, and is just like out the window. You know what I mean? That was jokes. So I would have been like, that would have been sick if like someone popped his hand. Because I mean, they were peppering this car with bullets, but not a single person got hit. I mean, they're all make a mad rush for the gates, I guess, and everyone's vanished. Even, one would imagine, the stationary van with the explosives in it, that's vanished as well. It's like, great. You would think, oh, we're going to put explosives in this van, we'll pop the tyres and everything, so there's no way anyone can kind of hop in it and drive it away. You know what I mean? But apparently the van's fully drivable, so that's vanished. Everyone else has vanished. It kind of all dies down. There's like a bit of walking through the street, and it kind of focuses on like nobody important's been killed. Then it looks as though Michonne's kind of dead because she's propped up against a wall not doing anything. Of course she's not dead. So the only really main character to die was Sasha, but she's whack. And then kind of it gets back to the sanctuary, and it's just like Negan questions about Sasha being killed, blah blah blah, and it looks as though he's going to smack Eugene, and nothing happens again. And then he kind of goes outside, and it's like, oh, let's prepare for war. And I was just thinking, wow, it's like this should have been the mid-season finale, not the finale of the season. You know what I mean? The fact they dragged out the whole of this season, like 16 episodes, and still nothing, not even in the finale. I mean, because they wasted so much time in the first half an hour with absolutely nothing. It ends with them like, oh, we're getting ready for war. Now I'm sitting there thinking, well, this has to happen like literally a day later, because like you got to think the majority of the Kingdom troops are in Alexandria now. So now, and like the majority of the Hilltop people are in Alexandria now. So I'm sitting there thinking, what if he sends like a massive group of saviors to the Kingdom? Like all of the nobodies and the whole kingdom will get sacked. All of the Hilltop and the nobodies and Hilltop will get sacked, and they're all just going to be stuck in Alexandria. You know what I mean? I was thinking, well, they can't go back to their... They must be worried, like, oh my god, because they know they're not defeated, so they must think, oh, we should go back to the kingdom in case to attack them. But they can't do that, because what if the saviors go back to Alexandria? You know what I mean? So they can't. So they've kind of. I'm pretty sure they've left their own places unprotected to go and do this. So like the next season premiere has to happen literally right after this, and it's got to have the saviors all go to Alexandria. But boy, that first half an hour was whack. I mean, really, to be honest, the fact that no big characters got killed in the episode, even the last half hour wasn't amazing. You know what I mean?
I've got to disagree there. I think they need to shy away from that for a while. I think they made the right choices.
Shy away from what?
From every bloody finale, they're killing off a big character all the time. The mid-season finale, bash their heads in. It's too much. It's part of the reason why fans are flocking out. Because they'll just put someone new in, and then they'll carry on for another 3 years. You know, they've got to change up their formula a little. And I agree with you on the first half, though. That makes no sense to me. Like, if you don't want to do a big episode where they're all shooting each other for the entire thing, fine. But then why do it for an hour? That makes no sense. Why extend it for no reason?
My issue is, why have... I mean, that's the point of a finale, where it ends on like a massive cliffhanger for months, or someone dies and it's like shocking. Not the fact, okay, we're going to run through 16 episodes when nothing happens, and then in the finale nothing happens. It's like,
right.
It gets to the point.
They've already done the mid-season thing where they did that. You know, you don't want to do it again.
Yeah, but they're nobody characters. No one cares if Spencer got
Glenn?
gutted. What?
Glenn died.
That was the season premiere.
Well, whatever it may be, it's still the same thing.
That was the first episode.
Right?
A bunch of nobodies died in the mid-season. It's just the fact that it's gear 1 for the whole season and it's gear 1 for the finale. It's like the fact that the whole season was boring. You're expecting something big to happen in the finale, and nothing happened. So it's just like, wow. It's like the whole season, even I was sitting there thinking, right, it's going to be finale, everything's going to kick off, it's going to be amazing, for the fact that the past 15 episodes have been a bag of terrible, and then nothing happened in this either. I was just thinking,
you can't be surprised by that, because there was no real build-up to it. They're not going to kill Negan now. So no way, they're going to drag it out for another year, like they did with what's his face, the governor.
This season was pointless then. There was no need for this season. Nothing happened. Literally.
Well, post the first episode, yeah, pretty much.
So this whole episode, nothing could have happened. No, this whole season, nothing could have happened. That must be a kick in.
The problem's not the finale itself. It's how much they dragged out the rest of the episodes. It was episodes where we meander around doing something, moving at a snail's pace, and so we get to this point.
This whole season had the biggest potential ever, bringing in the Saviours and Negan, and this has got to be the worst season ever. This has to be the worst season ever, like hands down. I mean, for me, this has got to be like a kick in the teeth to all the fans. It's like if I was like a proper fan, I mean, I would just boycott purely. I mean, people are boycotted for less, but
if you're a proper fan, you're going to boycott, are you?
Yeah, this has got to be like a boycott. See, this has got to be the thing where people are just like, you want to know what? No more, you know what I mean? I can't take another one of this. So let's talk numbers.
But that's different though. You don't boycott a TV show.
Well, it was baggage.
Yeah, but then you stop watching. You know, but if you boycotting, that means you demand they make changes. Otherwise, you won't do it again. If you stop watching a TV show, that's it.
Well, I'm demanding they make change, and I'm not going to watch it ever again.
You are going to watch it ever again.
Well, I'm not even going to watch it for like. I don't know.
Of course, you're going to watch it. You're one of those fans, like plenty of them, that complain, but you're never going to stop watching it.
I'm officially declaring a boycott now. I'm not watching a single episode of The Walking Dead for the next 4 months.
Is that how long it's on a break for?
It's my boycott. I'm not discussing it. Let's talk numbers.
You know, 7. You know,
Yeah.
It was alright. It was fine. I liked the ending. It is why drag it out for that much?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. My feeling was this should have been a mid-season finale. This should have been after they killed Glenn, and then 7 episodes later, this episode happens. Not they kill Glenn, 15 episodes later, this happens. I mean, I couldn't believe it when he pops out and they're like, right, this is it. I mean, I was expecting it to kind of Negan to all the Saviours and everyone else to get killed, and Negan to be captured in that episode and whacked in a jail cell. That was minimum requirements, and the fact he got away. I mean, I think they're like exploiting the fact that Negan's like a popular character by dragging him into next season too, but really, boy oh boy,
it's what they did with the governor, the exact same thing.
They're selling out left, right and centre. It's like,
again, but selling out would suggest but they haven't done it before. They have done it before. This is what they do.
I feel physically sick. So that's our review of the non-starter season. I'm going to look at every other website, and I swear if I see a single 10 out of 10, that's it.
IGN.
That's it, man. I mean,
I haven't taken the review.
I mean, it was hot. This season was the horror. It had so. I just don't know how you can have something with so much potential and manage to literally ruin it. I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And this has been the Superhero Hub. We'd never do this to you. We're consistently 10 out of 10. See you in the next episode.